Hello and welcome to this next instalment in our Yoga for Flexibility. You will need 2 blocks for this or 2 firm cushions, whichever you have to hand, but you will find them very useful for this practice. And we shall begin on our backs, coming into supported bridge. So feet hip width apart, navel in. Inhale, lifting the tailbone up so we can just place the block or a firm cushion under the sacral area. And then breathing here for 10 breaths. So we're starting here to get that natural curve in the lumbar spine. A little bit of a gentle back bend in a supported manner. And because it's supported, we can stay in the posture for longer. And the long holds are what really get into the connective tissue, the fascia that surrounds the muscle, helping to increase our flexibility. Slow, deep belly breaths here. So feel your belly rise on your in-breath and feel your belly fall on your out-breath. With the navel into the spine, extend the left leg long and pull the right knee in towards your chest. The left foot is flexed, so you're really pushing through that left heel while squeezing that right knee in. This gives a lovely stretch to the left hip flexors, the muscles at the front of the hip. They attach to our spine. And if they're very tight, they can cause low back pain and stiffness. Find your breath again. We're holding each posture for about 10 breaths, just to really get into the stretch. Carefully switch sides, keeping that navel in against the spine to protect our lower spine. So extend the right leg long, flexing that right foot, and then squeeze that left knee in towards the chest. Again, really pushing through that right heel while really squeezing in that left knee. A real balance of opposites going on here. If your mind starts to wander, running off with things on the to-do list, bring it back to the breath and to the sensations in the body. Carefully release, bring the left foot back down to the mat, both knees bent, and with just as much care, navel in, lift the hips to remove the block. Once the back is all the way down to the mat, let the knees go to the right and then to the left, just to reset the spine. Rising up, let's come into tabletop. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. We're moving into Anahatasana, puppy pose, hands to the top of the mat, keeping the navel in to keep that lumbar spine protected. Lower the forehead either all the way to the mat, or if it doesn't quite reach the mat, pop a block under it. Again, find your breath. This is a great stretch for the upper back. It's really good for people that spend a lot of time at a desk or driving. And with time, and by time I mean it could be weeks or months, your forehead will come to the mat. Inhale, rise back up, passing through tabletop. We're coming into Baddha Konasana. So you want to sit up onto a block and extend your right leg long and out to the side. Now, if you find that you can't straighten your knee, it's too tight in the hamstrings, pop a block under the knee and then bend the left knee and bring the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh. Foot is flexed, facing the right foot. You inhale tall and then exhale leaning forward from the hips as far as you can go, which might not be very far, and then round the head and neck forward, palms facing up, so you resist the urge to pull yourself deeper. Gravity may take you deeper, but when your back is rounded, you mustn't pull yourself. So you may be fairly upright or you may be folding deeper, depending on your body's level of flexibility. It doesn't matter where you are, wherever you are is where your body is meant to be at the moment. Exhale the navel in, turn the palms up, using your hand strength, rise back up. Grabbing behind that right knee, bend that knee in and switch sides. So now the left leg goes out long. Pop a block under the knee to help you if it's too tight to straighten it. And then inhale tall through the spine, exhale leaning forward at the pelvis, as far as you can go comfortably, and then round the head and the back, palms face up. The left foot is flexed, toes are up to the sky. 10 breaths here, breathing slowly and deeply. Send the breath to wherever you feel the stretch the most. Baddha Konasana, half bound pose, bound angle pose. Exhale the navel into the spine. On an inhale, using your hands, rise back up. Grab under that knee, bring it back in. Let's come into Baddha Konasana. Full bound angle pose. Soles of the feet together. Bring the heels towards the groin at a comfortable level. Inhale, tall out of the spine. Exhale, lean forward again at the pelvis. This won't be a big move. Once you've gone as far as you can, then round your head and shoulders, palms up. Again, do not pull yourself further once you have rounded your spine. If your mind has wandered, bring it back to the breath. On an inhale, using your hands, rise back up. Bring your knees together. Let's return to tabletop. Bring your blocks to the top of the mat ready. We're coming into lizard. Virasana. Step the right foot through between the blocks, between your hands. Then heel toe the right foot out to the edge of the mat. Bring that right block back on the inside. You can be on the highest level of your blocks to begin with. Find what works for you. Lift the toes of the right foot and then open out that hip onto the outer edge of the right foot. Sinking the hips down and forward. And then find the height that you want for the blocks so that the stretch is just enough but not too much. Find your edge. You don't want the stretch to be more than a 4 to 5 out of 10 in intensity. Don't want to tear things, you don't want to damage things, you want to gently encourage them to give, to let go. Find your breath again. I'm lowering my blocks again. You may want to, now we've been here for a little while. To come out of the pose, navel into the spine, rise up onto your blocks, then heel toe the right foot back into the sort of near the centre, then push through that front heel, back to kneeling, and we'll switch sides. So come through with the left foot, making sure the knee stays above the heel, the ankle, heel toe the foot to the edge of the mat, hands onto the blocks, lift the toes, and then open out onto the outer edge of that left foot. So we're really opening the hip up. Choose your height for the blocks. Find your breath again and send it to where you feel the stretch the most. If your breath becomes short or shallow, you're working too hard, you need to back out of the pose a little bit. You may want to see if you want to lower your blocks one, or maybe not. You'll know. Exhale the navel into the spine. Inhale, rise back up. Bring that foot back in. Push through that front heel. And we're coming into hero pose, Virasana. So knees together, and begin with place 2 blocks between the feet and sit down onto the blocks. I'm going to face you so you can see a bit more clearly what I'm going to do in just a moment. So the knees are together, not completely, but aiming together. Feet are apart. A block or 2 between the feet and sit down onto the block. If you're on one block and you get pain in your knees, rise up onto 2 blocks. And we're coming into eagle arms, Garudasana arms. So arms out straight in front, bend the elbows. Bring the right elbow under the left elbow, and you might be able to bring the palms together so you're binding twice. If not, hold on to your shoulder blades, lift your elbows up, shoulders down the back, breathing here. Keeping the navel up and in, a tall spine throughout. So we're stretching our quadriceps as well as our shoulders here. Slow, deep breaths again. If the breath is short or shallow, lower the elbows. Carefully unravel the arms, rotate your shoulders a few times, and if you're sitting on 2 blocks, you may want to see if you can remove 1 block, but if you get pain in the knees, go back to the 2 blocks. Let's switch to the other side, so arms out straight, bring the left elbow underneath the right elbow, either palms together or holding onto the shoulder blades. Elbows up, shoulders down the back. Remember to keep the navel up and in, sitting tall out of the waist. And finding your breath again. The breath is so important. Send the oxygen to where the muscles are stretching, where they're working. Carefully unravel the arms. Oh, that's quite a deep stretch. Rotate the shoulders, make any movement that you need. That's coming down onto our backs. Ready for legs up the wall without a wall. Vipariti Karani. So prepare just like for bridge, navel in, inhale, lift the hips up to place the block underneath the sacrum. Find it so that it's comfortable, keeping that navel in, bend one knee in, followed by the other, and then extend the legs long, feet to the sky. Try and flex your feet if you can, and then to engage the core, just bring the feet a little bit towards the bottom end of the mat until you feel your core muscles engage. Don't work too hard here. We're here for 10 breaths. You could be here with your knees very bent at the moment, and that is absolutely fine. If you would like to stretch the inner thigh, let the legs come apart. This can become quite intense, so you'll know when you've had enough. Bring your legs back together when you have. Deep breaths. This is so good for our circulation. It's a great restorative pose at the end of the day when you're tired. Keeping that navel in, bend the knees, and then place one foot at a time back down to the mat. Engage the glutes. Inhale, lift up the tailbone to remove the block. Come down carefully, and then once your spine's all the way to the mat, knees to the right, and then to the left. Just windshield wipe the legs, just to reset the spine. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall away to the sides. Place your hands on the body. Breathing here. If this becomes a bit too intense on the hips, then you can place a block under each knee. Really feel your belly rise on your in-breath, and then feel it fall on your out-breath. Breathing right into the base of the lungs, something we often forget to do. Bring the knees back together using your hands. Lift the hips up into the air, move over to the right slightly, and then bring the hips back down so you're still flat on the back. And then let the knees, so the feet are together, let the knees go to the left towards the floor, and you can put one or two blocks under the knees just to support it. The right shoulder blade should be firmly on the mat. If it's lifting, you need to bring your knees up higher. You can have your arms out straight to the side, or if you want to stretch across the chest, bend at the elbows, cactus arms. Supta Virasana, laying spinal twist. So good for the spine, great for the digestive system. Exhale the navel into the spine. Inhale the right knee up, followed by the left. Then carefully lift your hips and move them over to the left of the mat, and let your knees go down to the right. either onto 1 or 2 blocks as needed, making sure that the left shoulder stays grounded on the mat. Your choice with the arms, whether they're straight to the side or cactus arms. Find what feels lovely for you. Come into the breath again. Deep belly breaths here, sending the breath down into the lumbar spine. On your next exhale, navel into the spine. Inhale the knees back up. Recenter your hips on the mat and extend your legs long and as wide as the mat. And it can be really nice to put the blocks or the pillows under your knees so the lumbar spine is released. Arms out to the side, palms up. Let the breathing return to normal here. Dust off any ants. Again, try to not let the mind wander off with any thoughts. If you notice it has wandered, just bring it back kindly to the breath. Constructive rest for the body and the mind. Integrating all the work that we have done. If you can spend longer here, then do. Otherwise, if you need to get going, bring some movement back into your wrists and ankles, rotate them, move your head from side to side. Stretch up overhead, big stretch. Oh, that's nice. Bend into the knees so the feet are flat to the mat. Roll onto one side. And then when you're ready, using your arms, rise up into any seated position of your choice. It can be cross-legged, kneeling. Palms up together overhead, gathering in all that wonderful energy, bringing it down to our heart center. Bowing your head to your hands, thanking yourself for taking this time. Namaste. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment below, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please do click the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching.